You look back on what's happened to women over the last century, how the world has opened up for them to pursue careers, make choices about the kind of lives they want to live. It all goes back to effective contraception. But some of our politicians and our candidates vow to eliminate federal funding to providers of contraception care and overturn the Affordable Care Act, requiring new health insurance plans to cover birth control without a deductible or a copayment, a provision that will help prevent many, many teenage pregnancies. Florida is 6th in the nation for teenage pregnancies, yet last year, our Florida legislature turned down almost $2 million for comprehensive sex education in our school systems. Now, it's really, really too bad that we have to be here today. It's too bad that our elected officials aren't concentrating on laws and policies that would make the lives of Florida families better. Rather, they spend their time imposing their beliefs and their values on everybody else. They don't get it that each of our bodies is sovereign, to be governed as we so choose, without the interference of government. So long as our individual choices don't impede or encumber the liberty of others. They don't get it that women have a right to the access of a full range of reproductive options. So what this is really about is physical as well as economic well-being for women and their families. They don't get it that each of us should be able to love and to marry whomever we choose. We have a presumed presidential candidate that promises to appoint enough Supreme Court justices to overturn Roe versus Wade. And he said that he found the nomination of Justice Sonia Sotomayor troubling. Today, we are going to send a clear message to Tallahassee, to Washington, D.C., that enough is enough. Enough with the attacks on women's rights. We have elected officials that oppose the Affordable Care Act provision providing free contraceptive care to women. We have politicians who voted for the Blunt Amendment that would have given unprecedented license to any employer or insurance plan, religious or not, to exclude any health coverage based on their moral convictions. In state houses throughout the country, there are attempts to pass, and some draconian laws have actually passed, that restrict abortions and cut funding for basic health care services to women. Bills have been proposed, like the one in South Dakota, that expands the term of justified homicide to include killing a doctor who provides abortion care. A proposed U.S. House bill called Protect Life Act would let hospitals allow a woman to die rather than perform an abortion that would be necessary to save her life. Yesterday, the Senate passed the Violence Against Women Act by an overwhelming 68-31 margin. While every Democrat and all 5 female Republican senators voted to reauthorize and expand the act, a whopping 31 of their male colleagues voted no. And some House members even called the idea that a woman deserves protection controversial. There's a compulsory government-ordered pre-abortion vaginal probe in Virginia. We have politicians in Georgia that want to weaken state laws against rape, to repeal equal pay for equal work in Wisconsin, cut funding for employment services, meals, and housing for senior citizens, 2/3 of which are women, are pushing to eliminate all funds for the only federal family planning program available to women. Now, of course, that's for humans. But we have Dan Burton from Indiana, who's proposed a bill to provide contraception for wild horses. There are attempts to cut all federal funding from Planned Parenthood, health centers, one of our most trusted providers of basic health care and family planning in our country. These are concerted and coordinated efforts to undermine and diminish women's rights. This war is not a myth. These concerted efforts to redefine rape, to limit our choices on abortion, to cut family planning funding, to cut funding from women from crib to rocking chair. These are coordinated efforts across this country, and women are being used as political ploys. And we're going to tell Washington and Tallahassee, back off. We have fought the battle a long time ago to get the rights that we have. And we have people that want to reignite and even relitigate issues that were resolved 40 years ago. Over the last several months alone, over 1,000 bills have been proposed targeting women's rights. Florida already has a proposed constitutional amendment that will be on the 2012 ballot to prohibit public funding of abortions. This isn't just a war on women, it's an attack on all of our rights.